All right, so it's the top of the hour, and I am pleased to introduce Craig Dewar, who is an information analyst and data visualization consultant, and ready to share his top 10 tips from his Tableau visualization consulting bag of tricks and his hacks. So, Craig, take it away.
Thanks, Emily. Hi, I'm Craig Dewar. As Emily's told you, I'm a senior consultant here at MIP. MIP have been a gold partner with Tableau for a number of years. So we've got some pretty good crew here, and I'd like to think we've got a few tricks to show you. I've been using Tableau myself for about 6 years, so I was going to try and show you 10 hacks, but I think I might be squeezing too much in here, so I've probably got about 8. I'm going to go pretty fast. So these are the things that I want to get through. So there's a few things there, and look, this is obviously being recorded, so I'm going to go pretty quick. So if you can't keep up, you can play them back in slow mo if you like. Or alternatively, I've actually uploaded a couple of versions up to YouTube that you might want to link through from my blog site on CraigsHacks.com. So look, a last little caveat before I get going. I suffer from a rare condition called lazy pinky, which means that most of my words have got an uppercase second letter. Might piss a few of you off, so apologies in advance on that one. So let's get going. So the first one I'd like to show you is a thing called the up, down, same indicator. And this one's actually been around for a while. I originally did this one few years ago at Tableau User Group. And this one allows you to use the shape to do an up or down indicator. And what we're going to do is we're going to show a map of all the cities in our good old APAC Superstore data set. So we're going to color them by ratio, and we're going to size them by sales. And we might just nudge the size of those circles up a bit there. And let's say we want to compare the sales across years of order date. So let's grab our order date, bring that over as a column, and we're just going to compare the last 2 years in our data set, so just keep those. So our challenge here is to find out how much sales have increased in various cities. So you can see Brisbane here sold 20 grand last year and 28 grand this year. So what we want to do is we want to work out what percentage increase that is. So let us grab our sales, and we're going to just make a copy of that. And we're going to use a table calculation, and we're just going to do a percentage difference. And we need to ensure that that is computed using order date. So once we've added that to our viz, we can see that is, we've got too many cities there, but you can see there's Cairns. We've actually gone up 162% in sales from the year before. So that's not much good to us. We really need to be able to visualize this one. Get rid of these states. We need to visualize that one by a shape. All right, so let's see what we can do with that one. So I'm going to now change this percentage difference of sales table calculation. I'm just going to drag it over into my measures. And I'm just going to call this one percentage diff last year. There you go, told you. So we're going to now use that calculation to do a special measure, which we can use as a discrete shape. So we're going to call this one sales up or down. So we're going to say if the percentage difference is greater than 0, then sales are up. Let's go if right. And else if the sales are less than 0, then down. And we could do the equal 0, we could do the same, but for the sake of brevity, I'm just going to put an else there that is not applicable, and we'll send that. So now that's given us the sales up or down discrete measure. So we can actually now change our chart type to shape. Now we can drag that up or down over into the shapes. There we go. So now we've got, in the 2015 year, we've got a couple of shapes here. Let's make them a bit more nicer shapes. I prefer to use the filled arrows down and up, and we'll leave not applicable as a square. Fair enough. Pop that up here. So now, by using our highlight, we can very quickly see which cities have gone down in sales compared to last year, and by how much, and which cities have gone up in sales. So we're not really interested in 2014 anymore. So the last little thing here we'll do is we'll just grab the percentage difference last year. Oops. Just going to filter out the non-null values using special. There we go. So now we've got our up, down, or the same indicators. Hope you enjoyed that one. So racing on to the next one. Let's see if we can have a look at dual axes and moving your labels to the top of your bids. So let's start off with a superstore data set here showing by country sales profit. See, we've got some axis labels down there. Everyone still see my screen? Okay. So well, I've been looking around with some mobile business lately, and what I'm going to do is just show you what that biz looks like on a mobile biz and show you why we might want to have a look at putting our labels at the top. Okay, so if we change our device preview to say a phone, and we add that phone layout, and then we do a fit width, and we can see we've got our axis label down the bottom of the biz there. But what happens if we wanted to scroll down? Say, for instance, we drill down to state. You see our axis labels sort of disappear off our screen, and we don't really know what they mean. So what I wanted to do is show you a good way to get those axis labels up the top of your biz by using dual axis. So first of all, we're going to create this placeholder calculation here, just 0. So start with 0, gives me a column of zeros over here. I'm going to drag that over, make it my leftmost measure. Now I'm going to make this a dual axis. So what we see now is we've got the sales and a whole bunch of zeros. I might change it all back to bar chart. So we've got the sales at the top, so we're doing well, but we do have this baggage of all these zeros. So I'll show you a few quick ways to get rid of those. So if we click on the zeros, we can actually change the transparency down to 0. Might even turn off the borders. Change if you want to go the whole hog, make it really, really tiny. People can barely even click on it. And last thing, turn off the label. So a couple of more things that we need to do to tidy this up. You see that 0 line there? We format those away from our lines format. And we've got this funny looking axis here with 0. So if I double click on the axis, thanks to Curtis Harris for that tip, saw on the Twitter feed this week, saving me a bit of time. And we just get rid of this title, turn the tick marks off, and there we go. Got a nice clean viz with just the sales up the top. So let's do that again for the other two just quickly. So I'll copy that 0 over there, dual axis, click on the zeros, and just turn the express version here, 0% transparency, turn off the labels, double click the axis, into the 0, turn off tick marks. You'll notice now I've got these different colors here. So whenever you do a dual axis, Tableau likes to put the measure names on the color shelf there. So we'll just drag those off and get something a little bit more plain and vanilla. And the last one we would do, same again, drag that over there, dual axis, click on the zeros, Yeah, 0%. And just cool. All right, so we're pretty well there, I think. Let's just go out and have a look at our dashboard, mobile biz there, and see what that looks like. So you can see that we've now got our access labels at the top of the viz, and then when we drill through, we maintain those labels. So there you go. That's a nice little hack. I'm using that one quite regularly. So next one I'd like to show you is creating a better group. So let me just jump onto a new sheet here. And grouping in Tableau is pretty cool. So if I was to set up a viz with just countries on them, see how easy it is to do a group of countries here. We might just group those, and we'll set up an alias for those countries, and we'll call it Central Asia. And we can group these guys up here. And we might group those, and let's call those North Asia. And we'll do these three down here. Oops. We can group those, and let's call those Oceania. And look, we might even alias this last one, just to save a bit of time. We'll call it South. So many of you have seen this grouping function before, and it's really nice that you can do that lasso grouping. But let me tell you that the grouping has certain limitations that I come up against every now and then. A couple of key ones are blending. It's very hard to blend a secondary data source with a grouped dimension. You can't filter by them, for example. Performance is a big one. So if you have 100 million rows of data and you're using groups, you notice that some of your queries, filtering or doing stuff with groups becomes quite a challenge. And the last one actually is used to not be able to create calculated fields using groups. Tableau 10, happy to see you can use it. So this hack might not be as useful. Let me show you how I convert this group that I've just created into a more permanent group by using a case statement in a calculated field. So let me show you how I quickly get that one together. So I'm going to grab this country group that I just created. I'm going to grab the countries. Now I've got a table of countries and what group they're in. I can actually now export this out to Excel. There it is. So now I've got the bones of something that I can use to quickly build up a case statement. So I've got this little spreadsheet that I cart around with me to all my customer sites. You can find it. Here it is here. So it's basically got a column A, B, and C. This column C is just a little formula that concatenates these together. So when I paste these things in here and fill this one down here, fills in a nice case statement syntax for me, which I can take back to Tableau. And now I can create a new calculated field based on country. And I'll call this one country group hack. So now all I have to do is put the case in there, paste that in there, and I might even put an else needs something like that. Get any new countries in our data set. You don't want to put null. Put an apostrophe there, and there you go. We've got a group hack. So I can now use that group hack there instead of my country group. And now if I'm doing lots and lots of crunching of data, that'll be a bit faster and I'll be able to use it in blending. So there you go. That's creating your own custom group. So Hope you like that one. Next one is drill down. So let's set this one up. So look, Tableau has some pretty good drill through capability with hierarchies and so on. Don't have to tell you that. So we can drill down from countries to states, down to cities, etc., and we can actually bring in categories. If you want to have a look at that, even deeper subcategories. So it's a pretty nice out-of-the-box analytics functions there. But that's quite a lot of data on my screen there now to work through and try and find my outliers, exceptions. So what I'd like to do is show you a solution that I like to implement to do drill throughs on a dashboard with dashboard actions. So let's start back at this country sales, and let's go and pop that one onto a dashboard. So drill through actions work really cool if you put them in a vertical container. So let's grab this country drill through viz and we'll put it inside our vertical container. I'll get rid of this little legend here. And we'll fit here. Okay, so let's say that we wanted to start at the region level and drill through to countries. Let us duplicate the sheet. We might call this one sales region. Very bad pinky disease today. And let's add that one to our dashboard. Sales by region. See that dotted blue line? That's indicative of that you're putting it inside a vertical container. It's very important. Move this one off the page here a bit, so I'm going to keep doing this. Just push that to the side there. Cool, and we'll make this one fit with as well. All right, so now we've got, well, gee, I should change that to region. So let's just grab the region and we'll sort this in my sales. All right, so now we've got a region summary and a country summary. So now I want to quickly show you how you would add an action to filter that. Say, show countries. And when we click on the region, we want to filter the country and we want to select. And here's the important part. We want to make sure that that excludes all values when they're done. And we want to limit this one to just selecting region. Okay, we'll read the roll. So now when I click on Southeast Asia, I just see the Southeast Asia countries. North Asia, just see the countries. That works quite nicely. But we can do a bit of cleaning up here. We don't need to repeat these headers. We might turn off the header there. We might even, well, I'll just point out that see how you've still got this title hanging around here. If you deselect a region, we might turn that title off. But notice now we lose a bit of context. We don't know specifically their countries. So I'll show you a little trick here. We can actually add our own little heading by just typing it in between quotes on the column. Now we get a by country. We can just format that to make it look a bit more heading-esque. So let's make it 10 and bold. And we might even do the same up here, just a bit of matching. Or, yeah. And we'll call this one and let's format that again. 10 bold. Nice. So now when we click away, we just get it by region, and we drill down, and we get countries. So let's just add one more now. Let's duplicate this sheet. And let's add in, let's call this one sales cat. So 3-tier drill down works quite nicely. So let's bring in our categories. Sort descending. We'll drill through subcategories. Descending again. Okay, so we might do the same as we did before. Turn off those headers, and we'll just go over the category. So let's go and add that back to our dashboard here. There it is there. Pop it in. There's our dotted blue line. Now I'm going to add. So what's happened is that's going to be going to mess up this action that I've already created unless I go in here and say ignore actions. Just going to fit the width there. So what I'd like to do now is create another action that allows me to drill through from country down to category. Let's go dashboard actions. I'm going to add a new action. Let's say show cat. And we're going to limit it to just the country, and we're going to drill down to cat when we select. We're going to exclude all values. Okay, and I'm just going to add country to there. All right, I think we're pretty well there now, so let's give it a test run. So when we're in, say, let's go Central Asia, and we want to have a look at what's going on in Pakistan, we can have a look at Pakistan and very quickly find out what categories of sales and subcategories we're doing that in. And when we're done, we can click away, and get a nice clean this. So one more time, North Asia, South Korea, and we see the category. Alrighty, hope you like that one. Let's move on to another one. So this one is actually improves upon this drill down actions piece. So you'll notice when we click on these guys, all the regions stay there, and all the other countries stay there, and pick something with a lot of cities in, and we can actually get to the point where we're scrolling off the screen. So what I'd like to do is just show you a solution here now where we can actually self-filter our business. So what I'm going to first of all do is create a new worksheet. We're going to call this one self-filter region. Bring in regions. And we're going to pop that on our dashboard. Let's push it to the side here. So we're not actually going to use this. It's just going to be sitting there in the background. So I like to go to the layout and just push that out a little bit to the side so it's not on our dashboard as such. And I'm going to ignore actions on that one as well because I want to create a specific action. This one's a little bit different than the one before. So this is like a self-filter region. So when I click on regions, I want the self-filter region to filter. This time, instead of exclude values, I'm going to leave it as show values. I'm just going to add region. We're ready to roll there. So, no surprises when I click on Southeast Asia. You'll see that that filters Southeast Asia. So here's the tricky bit. We're going to go in here to that biz, and we're going to actually add a filter back to its parent. So there was the sales by region. So now when we go back to our dashboard, you can see that that has actually filtered that. So when I click away, all our regions come back. And when I click on North Asia, self-filters. So now I can just see what I want to see. So let's do that again, but with a country. So one more time, self-filter country. Bring in the countries. Go back to the dashboard. Drag that on. Push it off the side. Ignore actions. So this one here is pretty important. Otherwise, all your other actions get added automatically. So it's self-filter country. Oops, make sure it sets it up. So this one was when we click on the country, we want to click on the self-filter country, show all values, select. We want to make sure that it's only passing through the country value. You can get messed up if you start passing years and stuff around. And show all values kind of get all your years all of a sudden. Okay, I think we're ready to roll there. Let's do that now. So test that one out, South Korea. Filter to South Korea. Now this next step is to go a bit slower here. Open up the viz that you've filtered to. There's that little action viz there with country of South Korea. And we apply that one back to the where it came from. So the sales by country. Cool. All right. So now let's test it out. So we'll reset it back to the start. We'll see all of our regions. So now we want to go into let's go to North Asia. And let's say we're going to go into China. You can see that North Asia filters back to just North Asia, just China, and we get a nice succinct viz there. There you go. Hope you like that one. Let's move on to the next one. How are we doing for time? Yeah, okay.
You're good.
So let's have a crack at making our own legend. So I'll explain what I mean on this one. So here's a viz here showing categories and segments. And I'm using segments as colors. And I'm using shapes as categories. So I've got two legends, makes sense. I find that some customers actually get a bit confused when you've got more than one legend, especially if your colors are using squares and one of your shapes is squares. So here's a little hack here that you can use not only for these legends, you can actually use them for reference lines and so on as well. So what I'm going to do is make my own legend that combines both the shapes and colors. So to do that, I'm just going to duplicate this sheet here. And I'm going to get category and segment as rows. I'm going to get rid of all of those. Get rid of country as well. Okay, so starting to get there with looks a bit legendy. So we want to make sure that our categories are shaped. So we're going to change this to be a shape. I'm just going to drag it. So there you go, we're almost there. What we need to do is, I'd like to have my labels off to the right-hand side of my shapes. So let's grab segment and category. I'll just control drag them down to label. And that doesn't look real good, does it? So even if we widen this out here, it's not quite working. So here's a little trick that I use is use the old magic zero measure placeholder again. Now we get an axis that we can work with. We'll bring that one back here. Still not working real well. That's because these things are actually not even on one line. So let's go and see how they're on two lines. So we'll just push that one back there, space in between them. Okay, so getting closer. I want to get rid of all this white space over here. I can actually edit this axis. I can fix the left-hand side to be like -1, right-hand side to be like 6. And there we go, we're over to the left-hand side. So we're going to do a bit of a cleanup now. Let's format those lines away. Let's give it the 0 lines. Funnily enough, the grid lines shouldn't be there, but they are. If you turn them on and back off again, I find that they do disappear. Might raise that one as a bug. And let's get rid of the borders. So turn off our rows, turn off our columns. And last of all, turn off our header here. Turn off this header. Turn off this header. And there you go. We've got something that resembles a legend that has both colours and shapes in it. So if we go back to our viz that it came from, this one, do a new dashboard, pop it on there. So let's replace those legends. A new legend. Turn off our title. Hit the entire view. A little squish here. These guys come back again. And that works nicely as a legend. Just got to make sure you turn off the tooltips. You don't get any junk over the top of it. And it also helps to make it a highlight action. If I do a dashboard action, and we just add a highlight action, did the job. And now we can click. So we want to just see how the corporate furniture is going, as the corporate office supplies. There you go. That's a hack on how to make your own little legend. If you enjoyed that one. Next one on my list is, this one actually comes from a viz that I did back with VizChip last year. Where was it? Good old Superstore. So this is one was designed for an Apple Watch. And for Apple Watch, we had to make the line chart sales performance, and we wanted to make our line charts a nice big fat circle in the end with the percentage inside it. So it kind of looks like a spark line, and I've heard a few people tell me that it resembles a sperm. So let's call it a spermy spark line. I'll show you how to create one of those. So let's start with this viz. So this viz here is just showing us profit, day-to-day profits over the order year of 2015. So what I'd like to do is just show a trend on how we're going with percentage profit target. So let's make this profit cumulative by doing a quick table calc for any total. Okay, so we start to see that we've got, by the end of the year, we're about 40,000 profit. I notice over here that we've got a profit target of 43,000. So why don't we add that one as a reference line? There it is. And label here, quick one. Okay, so there's our target of 43,000. So it looks like we're almost there, but how much percent are we? Let's get a percentage at the end of our line, and let's see if we can shoot for getting one of those big fat circles. So first of all, let's make that profit a real measure. Control drag it over there and call that one cumulative profit. And we're going to actually work out what percentage of cumulative profit is of target. So cumulative profit as a percentage of our target. And of course we want to make sure that's a percentage. So let's go for percentage, 0 different places. So now we can drag that over and make it a label. Let's see what happens. Nasty. Okay, so we've got labels everywhere. So that's no problem. We can just say we want the line ends, and there we go, we get 96%. So how do we put that inside a circle? So we can't just go over and change this to a circle chart type. It just makes everything circles. So what we need to do is we need to make a copy of this profit. And let's start going with dual axis. So the second dual axis, we can make circles. But we've got a lot of circles here. How do we get rid of everything but the last one? Here's a quick trick, table calculation again. So we're just going to say, let's find out the last cumulative. And this one is if last 0, then cumulative profit, else null. Well, meaning that's the same thing. So let's use that last cumulative profit now instead of cumulative profit. If there's any luck, we'll just get 1 circle at the end. And we do. Make it nice. All right, now we can do a dual axis. Okay, we're getting close. Notice whenever you do dual axis, you get 2 reference lines. Annoying, but so we'll just remove one of those. And our 96%, let's see if we can get it in the middle of the circle. Let's click on the circle. In fact, that 96% is on this line. So let's just turn the label off that line and turn it on this one. You can see that's, oops. Okay, so it is at 96%. So let's do a, let's just change that to the alignment is. Center, center, that's the key thing. Get your labels right in the middle of your circles. You're going to make sure you go center and center, and then we can go big. Something that you can still see on Apple Watch. And I might even change the font to Arial. The Tableau fonts are a little fat when you're trying to squeeze them into tight spots. Cool. All right, so we're almost there. Let's get some nice colours. Notice how we've got measure names as our colours. Let's replace them with, say, how we're doing against our target. And I might just make sure that is, say, orange blue, starting at 50% and going up to 100% target. Nice. Okay, let's see what we can do to, well, we'll get rid of that second axis there. Let's see if we can get it to be a little Bernice Firefly on our dashboard. Eh? New dashboard. We'll grab the profits. There it is. And let's go with a nice little dashboard. Let's say it's 600 wide by 400 high, just for the sake of getting something nice and small. So there you go. We get something nice and small. We get our big circle at the end, the dual axis, and a couple of tricky calculations along the way. Hope you enjoyed that one. Let's see, we're about 6-7 minutes left. Let's see if we can squeeze in. Oh, this one here. Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about extract dates. So whenever I put a dashboard together for a customer, I like to always tell them what this data is as at. Is this data as at today? Is it last month, month before? You know, even if it's time sensitive, you know, when was the data refreshed? You get a few options. So your best bet is to actually have an extract date time in your data layer. So if you're working with your warehouse folks, like I'm lucky enough to do, I can actually ask for an extract date time to be as a column in my data sets. So I get a nice extract date time that lines up with when the data was pulled from source systems. That's the best way to do it. If you're not lucky enough to have your crew on board doing that for you, you've got a few options in Tableau. So first one is actually use a proxy date. So if you are confident that your orders dates are pretty regular and your data set is likely to have an order quite recently, that's the max order, you can actually drag that on and you can just go max order date as a label, and you can go in and just put data as at, and drag that onto your dashboard. And as long as you're not filtering your data set, which can get a bit And if you've got a global filter on that filters the last year, all of a sudden your data has that changes incorrectly as well. So that's used with caution, but I've used that one often enough, especially if you've got a spreadsheet or something. Another one is actually, if I show you a nice blank sheet here, it actually just goes straight into a title of a view. This is not a widely known one. I've seen people do a data update time in that little insert drop down there. So obviously nothing in your viz, so you have to have something in your viz. So if I put the number of records in there you go. So that's my data time, data extract date time. Unfortunately, you have no control over the date, so you got to put that clunky down to the second format. So that's why I'm not a real fan of that one. And also, you can't really use it on the dashboard. Only in titles of business. So that brings me to my favourite one, and that is something that you can use if you're lucky enough to be using a database. So I'm going to connect to a SQL Server data source. And you don't even have to be connected to any particular table, just use the same database that you're getting data from, preferably. And you still need custom SQL. So your select statement, in SQL anyway, is get date as extract date. And if I do an update now, you'll see that extract date. I'm up here there. So if you're working with an extract, turn your extract state on, and then you'll get a data source. It just has one value in it, extract date time. And I'm just going to, instead of that one, I'll use the new one I've created. So let's give it a format. So my favorite date time format isn't even on the list. So I always have to create it myself. So I like to use the month. So that folks in the US and the UK can know exactly what month we're talking about here. So I'm just going to drag that on instead of that max order date. Just show you that we've now got the 7th of October, 11:42. And next time the data is refreshed, so you can publish this up the server, you'll get a nice little data as that piece that you can throw up onto a dashboard. Why don't I throw it up here? Show you what mine. Let's get rid of that. Let's give it a title. Let's make this one fit the view. Voila, we've got a nice little data as that thing that we can whack on all of our dashboards in one data set. So I hope you enjoyed that one. Brings me to the end of my 8. I think I slightly over time. How did I go, Emily? Haven't got to bed yet? Thanks for tuning in. Is there any questions?
Hey Craig, it's V. I think there's been a lot of chat going on, and a lot of people were incredibly impressed by some of the stuff that you've done. And obviously, I know I couldn't have been as successful with the stuff that we do without you as well. So I really appreciate everything that you do. It's great to see you getting some airtime as well, and hopefully we'll see lots of other presentations like this in the future from you. So there's no questions that I can see so far that have come through. There were a few that were answered on the fly through the chat around some of the stuff that you were doing. But yeah, that was really great. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. You're welcome. You might have noticed a few of the little tricks there that I've done for you.
Yeah, I did. I noticed some of the colours in there look vaguely familiar.
Well, thanks for that.
Yeah, so from Sunil there, the drill down with the self filter was so cool.
Yeah, and vaguely like that one that must have rung a bell for you.
Yeah.
So look, I did actually practice this one during the weekend. I've popped a few videos up onto my blog. I'll just give it a quick plug, CraigsDewar.com. So if you have a look in this thing that I just posted up this morning, you'll get a link through to all of those little demos that I've done there. I've just recorded and popped up onto YouTube. So if anyone wants to look at them in the future, watch them in slow-mo, copy along, you're more than welcome.
That's great. I'll also just pop up in the chat here if anyone wants to follow you on Twitter. Your Twitter handle is CraigsHacks as well. Is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Cool.
All right, everyone, have a great Friday. I'll sign off. If there's any other last questions? No, all good?
No, that's great. Thank you.
All right, thanks, guys. Cheers.